Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today we're going to be painting a snowman catching snowflakes. This is from one of my older, most popular designs, and I had taken it down out of the collection and put it in the vault for a period of time, and then given it to patrons, and only patrons had it. And then nobody had it, and then patrons had it again, and now I'm just going to repaint it. And you might wonder why. Why? On the mic you hear there is my husband, John. He helps me bring you guys these weird videos. We're live. These are real. They're inner basement. I teach art. I've been doing it 10 years on YouTube. And I love it. I love doing it this way. If this is your first class, how this works is I do a thing, explain a thing, show you what I'm using, demonstrate every aspect of how it's achieved, and then you follow along. And amazingly, breaking that into steps, at the end, you and I have a painting that's pretty similar to each other, just generally overall.
Yeah.
And so we will have, there is a traceable in the description below. I also included a link to the red, black, and white video. Why? You wonder, did I chase? Because some people, when they saw it, they're like, oh, I'm so excited. It's so gorgeous. You can tell I like a little bit of red, black, and white. The issues started with this particular one, and I think this happens a lot for artists. A lot of artists don't like to show their mistakes. A lot of artists don't like to talk about things when designs don't work out. A lot of artists, because there's this sort of be the best weird energy that other people who aren't artists sometimes try to put on artists, they you become aware of these fails, but you don't necessarily share them. But one of the things that being on YouTube has taught me is that sharing my mistakes sometimes is as important as sharing the things that I do perfectly, because sometimes seeing me fix a mistake or address a mistake really, really, really helps you. So the only reason I don't have the red picture-in-picture, we're going to do the traceable picture-in-picture when John makes me small and we go over the materials, is that I don't want people coming in thinking that's what we're painting, and then we have to give them an explanation every second as they come in. With the traceable, they'll be like, what? But they'll see it and kind of put it together. So even though it's weird for us, for somebody new, it wouldn't seem that strange. And it felt like we could spend more time saying hello to our new art friends than explaining to our new art friends what we thought we were doing. Let's go over the materials. So anyways, I put this thing in Google and I did reverse image search. I do that every time I do a painting just to make sure that somehow through parallel thinking, I don't accidentally violate somebody's copyright. And I do try to check that. I do a reverse image search when I do an original design. And when I did that, if Google didn't come back with Jack Skellington and skeletons and zombies every time I did it, and still does, like I'll check it and it'll come back and be like, I think you mean Jack Skellington, right? I'm like, no, it's a snowman. He has a stripy bow. It's a stripy bow. It's not ribs. It's a stripy bow. It's not a skeleton. It's a stripy bow. And a lot of people who saw it thought it was a horror snowman. I haven't really intentionally painted a horror snowman yet. So that's why we're doing a redesign. You can do the old deco chic red, white, and black snowman, which I thought was super cool. It's in the description. Or you can paint along the new one with me. Materials, 9x12 canvas. In the description below is what I expect to paint with. You can find everything there, including the traceable for the snowman. The colors I put out are Phthalo Blue, Ultramarine Blue, Quinacridone Magenta, Cad Red Medium, Yellow Ochre, Cad Yellow Medium, Mars Black, Titanium White, Burnt Sienna, and Phthalo Green. And that's kind of a basic palette you could see me use. I might add a purple or a yellow, but that's a basic palette. And that's because I can really do anything else with this. Now, my video said how to draw and paint a snowman. Did it not, John?
It did.
I did say that. And because I'm the Art Sherpa, and what we do here is the real. We're going to do that. We'll put up, I don't know, do you have a one that's a special one that's a drawing step, or do we want to call it step one?
We're probably just going to call this one step one.
All right.
But before we do that, hold on just a second. Let me see
So
if
how we do this is we have to understand, how do we as artists in our lines, in our contour lines, communicate to the viewer that the snowman is looking up. So one of the things I thought I would teach you is snowman perspective. And you will see here that I have drawn 5 round snowman round size balls. How do I know that? Because I told you that's how you know. I have divided it straight on the center here, right? And then I have it a little bit at an angle here on the right side, almost a 3/4 here and here, and on the left side on a 3/4. At the top, I've come up to where we would traditionally do an eye line across the ball, and I have put a little light curve in that, right? Up here, you can see the eye line curve is facing up. The eye line curve is facing down. And here, we don't even see an eye line curve. And through this together, I'm going to not only teach you this snowman, I'm going to teach you how to make emotional snowmen, snowmen look in different directions, snowmen being action snowmen, snowmen with real moments going on, and kind of talk about some design processes that you want to think about as artists. It won't take long. And not only will it make this snowman better and make it easier when we do the snowman here, but it's going to make you better at snowmen. So, top left, we have the 3/4 left center line, which means my left eye is over here and my right eye is over here. I'm going to make a circle and a slightly bigger circle. This is something you will catch me up to all the time. The reason I do the smaller circle on the far side and the bigger circle on the near side is that it exaggerates the perspective of this eye being further away. You notice how that makes it even further away?
Yeah.
That exaggeration maybe be not that big if I were doing hyper realistic animated snowmen, but I'm not. We're doing cute ones, so I don't have to worry about it so much. Now, if I put my carrot right here, I'm going to make a little half circle because really it's a cone, right? Remember that? So put the little half circle there, and I'm going to make an S curve and join them together. And so then now we've got a nose. I'm going to draw a little smile line. So my lines on balls will curve. If I'm doing a smile, I'm going to want to curve it down and curve it back up. Then what I do is I can make a little bit of coal kind of hanging off. As I come over, you will notice that I make my coal a little bigger than when it is on that far side. That's another way to exaggerate that perspective. Over here, if he is looking towards the right, then I could make a little coal eye right here. Another little bigger coal eye right there. You can see that they are regular shapes. Do a little half circle here. My carrots always have a taproot on them. A little bit of something to carry them in. And let's build up a smile. You guys starting to understand how all those little, you ever see like when they're like, this is an art class. And then in the center of the art class is a bunch of wood cubes lit, like blocks and cones and balls lit. Mm-hmm. Why you do that? It's so you understand this in the very important moment when you're doing a snowman. Now, on this, I have the eye line way up here, right? So that really sort of changes where our snowman is looking. So if I put this eye here, well, they're in fairly the same positioning. And then I'm probably going to draw the carrot up just to give him the look of looking up. Make some interesting little coals here. And now what you're going to notice is that his gaze appears to be looking up. He could be looking at Santa. He could be looking at a bird. He could be looking at a little kid who's climbed up into a pine tree and has a snowball and is about to like hurl that snowball at him. He could be looking at a kraken that has a snowball that's hurling it across a frozen river by a Christmas bridge. We don't know, but we know now how to make him look at something. What if he was looking down? So if I put this eye over here, now we remember because it's on the 3/4, I might make this little piece of coal a little bit smaller than this piece of coal. And then I'm going to kind of do a little carrot in, but it kind of points down, and look at how that makes this snowman look a little bit down. I can do the same thing where my coal gets bigger. The smile doesn't have to be as deep, right? This also tells you where your hat is because you can put the brim or the part of the hat that sits on his head right here in an ellipse and then make an ellipse for the hat going around him. messy and fast, but can you understand how then now we've got a sad snowman. A sad snowman looking down. And then we're trying to talk about a snowman who is looking straight up. Why did we put the carrot at the top? And only show his mouth and not his eyes. Because when we do that, we create this little image of sheer joy of a snowman catching snowflakes. I used to work in the card and gift market. And so I used to have to do a lot of this stuff. Believe it or not, I had character sheets of snowmen trying to come up with the different ways that we can talk about inanimate objects being animated and made into these wonderful living beings. Oh my goodness. I hope you love that, guys. And then we can do the same thing on our palette. And because I'm going to do the background in blue, I will sketch my little dude in phthalo blue, because I think that's the color I'm going to use. I'm going to use just a watery blue. I'm using blue paint. You would use your traceable that you would download off of the website and transfer it onto the canvas at this stage. I'm going to freehand this in with paint so you can see it. But what I want you to remember is that you wouldn't want to freehand yours in with paint. You could use chalk, and that's erasable, right? It's like colored chalk, white chalk, those are things, or use like Cerro paper to transfer on. Okay. So I've got my canvas. This is the center here. Huh? You want to do new stuff for? Okay,
Well,
yeah.
that was kind of a. That was
Yeah,
kind of
let's let it be its own step. Let's
Yeah.
make this a new step because this is really cool. All right. Come to the top, and I want you to put a little blue dot or a chalk dot, or make sure that your traceable doesn't take the carrot off the surface. Give yourself at least a ½ inch, quarter inch for carrot, right? I'm going to come to the sides, and I'm going to bring in a little bit of scale information. This just lets me know that I need to not make my snowman so big that it's like going off the sides. I'm going to come right here, make a nice little square in the center. Well, not the total. It's like if this is the center, just a little bit down on my hand. See that kind of relationally? A little bit of square. Now, I don't want to come out too far. So I am going to come out with one line and then open up another line. Kind of like those old parentheses that were more than, less than, not past your dots, right? Because you've got a dot that tells you how big a thing can be. Bow, bow. Do a bounce in at the center. Bow, bow. Does bow, bow help as a saying? Yes. Now here, I'm going to come here and I'm going to make a little dot right there. I don't want it to be too big because I'm going to paint over it and I don't want it to show through. But I just want to remember that my bow, like tails, can't go past that because I need to show the snow. So I'm going to come in on the inside of this bow a little bit and curve it. I'm going to come almost in the exact same point on the bow and curve it. And I'm going to stop before even my dot because I want room. I'm going to come down the little tied part of the bow and make a parallel line that is next to this one. And I'm going to go up. Well, hold on a second.
Yeah,
because
hold on a
something
second.
is weird. And I
They say
will
something
go,
is weird.
Cian, wow, and Taslima Maya Art. Thank you, Rainbow. And
We're going to just give it a moment
and
here.
Cian's like, I love the drawings of the snowman heads. I can
Yeah.
see so much now.
Oh.
Sometimes I keep talking because even though we go out,
Something
I
is
think
buffering, so we're
it's
going to fix
buffering.
it. Yeah,
Does
so
it record when I'm buffering?
Yes, but it will fix it. Give it
But
a second.
so do I need to talk or stop?
No, it's okay. Well, I believe.
So I just don't know what we're leaving them with while we're waiting for the buffer to be over is me just staring
No.
blankly at them.
So
Blink.
as I understand it,
Blink.
what'll happen, and just as you're kind of doing that, so you can just give it a moment, and I'll see. It's better that we wait for everything to come back and see if it's going to fix, because if not, I have to do a reset.
Okay.
And so we're gonna just see here how it's going.
Trying to figure out why this keeps happening. It's weird.
It is, well, so it has to do with the internet,
Mm-hmm.
and they are telling me that it's freezing, and
The internet.
the internet. So do you have any idea when the 12 days is going to start. So
it's already started.
Oh, it's already started.
Yeah, we started with the initial snowman. You've had
I'm reading questions.
You had a snowman. You had the Christmas tree. You had that realistic pine tree. We've done the Christmas puppy, the bird on a branch. I'm working on a Christmas cow.
We're gonna
feel like I'm forgetting one.
Okay.
Like I'm forgetting one. I'll put the playlist up so you guys can see it, and I'll pin it to the top of all the videos on YouTube so you guys can see this year's 12 days. We probably will have 12, more than 12 though.
I think I may have.
You get 12 winter theme paintings. You might have more.
So I think that what it's going to end up doing, if it's correct,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to go over the colors again here for everybody in just a second, but it's now decaching. So we're going to find out if anyone hears me talk about decaching, then we're going to know that it's working.
If you hear the word decaching,
then you're going to have to tell me.
Decaching. Tell us if you hear the word decaching. This video was brought to you by the word decaching.
Now it says okay, so all right. We can move on, I think.
All right.
If we go over the colors
come to the bottom, and again.
Okay. Just right now. Just
Cad yellow, yellow ochre, Cad red, Quinacridone Magenta, Ultramarine blue, Phthalo green, burnt sienna, Mars black, titanium white.
Okay.
Back to the bottom of the bow. I'm going to come down here and join that center. Right. Once I have that, I'm going to come just a little bit above this end of the bow, and I'm going to make a curved, rounded line. This is the snowman body snowball. Curved line goes right off the canvas. This is a no drawing draw kind of project, and I do like it for that. Now, I'm going to come up about to the upper third of the surface, and I'm going to make a little dot, and I'm going to say, all right, my snowman guy is going to be about that big. And then I'll come in and make my bottom of my carrot. And make that S curve that we just did. Right. Okay. I'm going to need to put my smile in the bottom part of my smile. I think I'm going to put kind of lower, closer to the bow. And I will kind of loosely sketch those out, even though I know I can paint them in black. I just want to see how they look, because this is where I can change my mind. I think I'm okay with that. I can even, like, I could have the smile even going off snowman, like, around. But I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that. All right. So that is the basic group. Not the arms, because I do those with my brush. That's a technique. But the traceable has the arms. If you are nervous about the technique, you don't have to worry, because you will have the traceable, and that just makes it easy. And by the way, it's not cheating. It's just a technique. Everything in art is just a technique. The things in art that we care about is, like, if you were to commit a crime like fraud. Fraud is very bad in art. So you don't want to do that, which is just basically pretending that you painted something you didn't paint. Right? Yeah. Or that somebody painted something that they didn't paint. Like if you duplicated a Van Gogh and then you tried to sell it as a Van Gogh, it's fraud. If you replicate a Van Gogh and you put your name at the bottom and you tell everyone it's a replica, it is a brilliant art maneuver and will help you pay your bills. Yep. So that's the difference, my friends. Are we there?
Well, are we there where? You gonna dry?
I don't think I need to dry.
So we're just going to the next step.
Oh, Brenda says I didn't see the bow because I made it froze.
Well, I was going to talk about that. If you go back and watch it on the rewind, it'll be there. Because I heard Amy saying decache, which meant that it put all that back for you. It just may be in the
square
rewind.
Center. It will decache, but let's just go over it real fast because it won't take long. Then it's a line up and a counter line down. A line up and a counter line down. You just kind of want to make them parallel. They bounce into each other. Right? On the inside here is where I bring in the inner curve. And then right here, I bring in the outer curve and I kind of bow those out. Then I bounce in. Bounce in. This lets me figure out the body of my snowman. Right? And then I'm going to come here. I'm kind of doing it a little weird, but Just so you could see it.
Just a quick recap.
It's just a quick recap. This is not to scale, my friends.
Just a recap.
Right? And then the arms will be going up like this off the side. So.
Mini recap.
Okay. So this was the first explanation, a little more detailed than him again, and then him here. So we're good.
Now we're ready for the next step.
But the scale marks are important. And when you go back in that video, it will give that to you and the traceables there. What I would say is the big thing is when you're freehanding it in is just make sure you've got a couple fingers on the side and you've got at least a finger at the top because you want to give yourself room for sky. Okay. I am going to take a brush, John. I'm going to take an angle brush.
An angle brush?
Snow people, says Heather C. Yes, because I do snow people. All peoples are represented. All right, I'm going to come here and I'm going to put a little white on my brush, get a little water involved, and just do a smidge of blue. Paint around my sketch or trace. So it's just a little bit more than maybe a sky blue. All right, just a little bit more. Bring it up. And then, you know, maybe at the top, a little more blue. And I'll just paint around. And then up and down. You can paint the sides of a painting. There is nothing wrong with that. A lot of canvases are made for that now. It used to be you had to buy specialty canvases to paint the sides. You had to buy gallery wrap canvases, but now like all canvases are gallery wrap. And I really think that the sip and paint industry is the one responsible for that. They created enough of a customer demand to give us that, and I'm really grateful for it. That was up and down, kind of a vertical line here. And so I'm just bringing a vertical line from the top towards the bottom. And because I went with my lighter color in, it's just maybe a little lighter at the base. And if I'm at all concerned that I kept it, I just come in with a lighter blue color and pretty easy to work some dimensionality in. So and just come up. I want my background a little streaky. So I'm not looking to make a even solid print of color. I kind of was the original one because I was doing the red, that very graphic red. But this one I just kind of wanted a little more of a feeling here. Now I want to dry everything. Dry everything.
Dry everything.
And I'll see you in the next step.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Cyan, can I paint the cartoon of you at the easel but make her look like me? Well, sure. That'd be fun. You should post it up in group when you do it. It'll be interesting to see. Hope you have fun painting those things. You know, we really love having you guys around. We love seeing you. Love you guys being part of our group, being part of our family on these. Cinema's reading the chat now. I gotta go over this.
Stan's like, I might paint the cartoon.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that. Yeah,
but make it look like me. That's awesome. That's fantastic. And then every time you say hello, hello, U2 song Vertigo gets in my head. Mine's telephone line. So I totally get it. All right, let's paint in a little more snowman. Now, this time, I have a couple of choices. I've got his little snow body to think about, right? And I could do this with gray.
His hot snow bod.
His hot snow bod. He's got a dad bod. And I think in this particular case, I'm going to take a little bit of my Ultramarine blue and a smidge of my burnt sienna, and that's going to make a blue-gray. Now, if you have a lot of trouble getting that color, guys, here's what. You can just use black and white as an alternate, and that wouldn't be bad. I'm going to mist my palette with just water. It's just water. So I'm going to make a gray It's a blue-gray, and you'll notice that it's a definite different color than the background. I'm just going to paint the body this blue-gray. I don't worry about painting over my lines a little bit because I know I can put them back. It just doesn't. The drawing for this really exists in my head. I'm going to be honest. I pre-draw almost never on my own paintings. But I find that students don't love, they don't bless the no pre-draw. So now we do the traceables and stuff. Again, a little bit of burnt sienna and a little bit of ultramarine blue and white. Just to paint the snow body gray. I'll go right over my all right. Let's dry that. Can we?
You think we can dry it?
I don't know if we can.
Can you dry it?
I think I can.
Does the drying thing work? Boop! It does seem to be working. You think? Yeah, there's some right here. There you go. She wants to have a Q-tips for something that we're gonna do. I wonder what it's gonna be. I imagine it's gonna be some snow. Probably some snow in there. Make that. Oh my goodness! It's so nice to see you guys too. Love seeing all the chat going on. So good to see how you guys are all having fun and hanging out inside there. Alrighty.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what?
Uh-oh, I lost a towel, but I have a backup towel. Ha-ha! It's okay. I'm fine. All right, on to the next.
All right, on to the next step.
So I'm going to take a little bit of my Cad Red and my Quinacridone together. My Cad Red and my Quinacridone. And I'm going to mix a smidge of my Mars Black into this. Just a smidge. And I'm going to paint my whole bow this crazy burgundy color. I'll go right over the blue lines. I don't care. I don't go into the snow body, though. Respect his little snow body, because it's snow body's business what this snowman be doing, snow person. I don't know. We can't see. We don't know. We'll have to go over and ask them. Who are you? We're meeting you right now. I always think of when I'm painting, okay, so this is a weird thing. I talk to my paintings, like, a lot. And it's strange. On some level for me, emotionally, these worlds are real. And
Sure.
this snowman is a real, person having a real snow life. In my mind, emotionally.
Coming to snow meet you.
Yeah, is coming to snow meet me. And so for me, there's this element of that in art, is that when I paint these characters, I'm kind of never alone. Which is a big deal for me because I struggle with that anxiety around loneliness. And, so sometimes the characters in my paintings are my friends.
Sure.
Because I'm a weird person. Like I'm a very strange person. I know that because I come to completely different conclusions every time I'm in a room with other people. And I'm like, wow, they all went a different direction than I expected. Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say you're strange.
Well, you like me.
I like you.
I'm just painting inside, and you can see that it's a pretty transparent color, this burgundy. But it gives us a very nice anchor. I don't really need to dry anything here, so let's just go on to the next step.
Okay, you can do that.
Take a deep breath, release it, and I see Lulabelle saying Tennant, Smith, Capaldi, and Whitaker, who are doctors we all like. Sorry, I didn't know. Is that the game? I felt like the game. All right, this time I'm going to take a little Cad Red, and a little cad yellow together. And it'll be a little more towards it'll almost be a cad orange that I'm going to, right? A pyro orange, cad orange. And I'm just going to come here and do a coat with this. Now, when you do your yellow and orange, if the blue is just showing through for you in a way that's disruptive or distracting, paint the area white and then do the orange. Some economy paints will give you some trouble with this stuff, and so it's a good idea. A little bit of a nose going up. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to come here with my black and my round brush. This is a number 6 Raphael Sepia round. I like to have a good pointed round in my brush bucket always. Your round doesn't have to be the most expensive brush in the world, but what you're looking for in a round is a round that will, whatever you've got, right? You're going to want it to be able to go thick, thin. Like, let me get a little more water on there. A little. So I can get a fine line and a thicker line. I just need to have both lines. I can't only get a fluffy line. So this isn't a great round for details, this one here, because that's the finest, cleanest line I can get on that brush. All right, super different. So that's what I'm looking for. Easy to hear me with a brush in my mouth? I'm sure it is. I didn't use it. Okay. We're going to put in our little rocks. And say I just sort of wiggle my brush around, curving the rocks up. Okay, that's how many rocks I have. Let's call it a step. Shall we? All right, now I'm going to take a little bit of my black and brown together. I'm going to come right here and make a curved line about, I think, a ½ inch long. And then I'm going to let it wander up to, mid-cheek and go off towards the right a little bit. Then coming down from the little right a little bit, I'll come up here. And you can see it's a very wiggly little twiggly line, isn't it? My twiggly lines be the wiggly lines. I'm going to bring my brush back down, pressing a little firmer, thickening the branch. It'll be the thickest where it connects to my little snowman who is out having a wonderful time catching the snowflakes. So thickest here, getting thinner, thinner as it goes up. Even as it's twiggly, my friends, even as it's twiggly. I like to do the left hand first because I'm right-handed. If I were left-handed, I would always do my right side first because then I wouldn't be dragging my hand through my paint. Bring a little thicker line over there to kind of represent a finger. And then where that finger comes out, I'm going to bring another little finger. But I give it a little twiggly bit, see? A little twiggly bit so that it has that sense of, right, being wood. He's made of magic. And the way those little twigs go, it's what gives us the feeling that this branch is also an arm. That's just how we do. And come over here, same thing, little ½ inch circle. Whoop. Come up, and then maybe a little at the bow, kind of go off towards the left. Little finger kind of. I'm going to bring that one back. That one forward. Just thicken the line coming down. Just a nice stroke. The reason that my paint flows off my brush this way is that I have a bunch of strategies about that are almost invisible to you. It's why I now show the water bucket so you can see me wet my brush. There's a video about how much water, if you're having any trouble with your paint going as far as you think it should, you need to watch the how much water video. It's worth your time. I wouldn't, not just trying to get views, don't worry. I should be trying to get views. What am I doing? All right, I'm kind of adding little bumps to my wood just to make it feel a little rougher, a little barkier. Okay, let's try everything, calling it a step, and come back.
Try it all.
Try it all, my friends. Try it all. Live life. Fullest. The fullest you can live it.
Well, guys, thank you for coming and being here, part of this, joining us on our quest for paint to do these things. Don't forget to check out our website, theartsherpa.com. All sorts of good stuff happening up there. If you haven't seen our patronage up on Patreon, it's a great place to check out and join. If you're already a member on our website, that's fine. You already have access to all the stuff. Check all those cool things out. Okay, I'll give you a new step.
Yay!
I was talking about just random stuff.
I love it.
There you go. New step.
All right. So now I'm going to make a much lighter, kind of a yellow-orange. Coming from the end of the carrot, kind of coming back. So it's still orange, it's just more of a yellow orange. And then as I come back into the carrot, I'll go back into my darker orange. It's kind of an ombre. My carrot has an ombre.
An ombre.
It has a beige. Somewhere there was a hairdresser that just coughed up something, laughing, going, okay, snowman beige on the nose, sure, why not? Why not? All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm now going to get my burnt sienna onto my round brush, and I might let a little of that orange get into it just to, I don't know, warm it up a bit, but you don't have to. It could be just straight burnt sienna. And I'm going to make little lines, short, irregular lines. Let me kind of show you this pattern so you can see it as I'm doing it. Can you see that pattern, how that makes the wood? Yeah, it's just the number 6 sepia Raphael round again. YouTube has been getting really aggressive with ads. It has, Ivy. We are trying to control it. I should have set John up to control it, but...
I am. Hopefully it's only dropping the ads during the commercial breaks, which is what, I mean, during
the drying breaks.
During drying breaks.
We're trying to do it where it only does it while we're drying the painting, or if there's a buffer. We're trying to do it where...
Yeah, so we have a little bit more...
It is a lot more work to do the ads this way, but if you don't, man, then they'll hit you guys with 20 in 1 minute. It's crazy. I don't know what the formula is for ads. I've sent them screenshots, and now they're just kind of being like, this is a platform to make money, so you got to be making us money. And I'm like, okay. You can kind of see we just added that little bark feature. Yeah. Barky bark. Barky bark, 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 bark. Barky bark, bark. Amy Ovard says, hey. Oh, because Gay Spangler came in, so we want to say hi to Gay Spangler. How you doing today? I see Virgo Rules and Bree are in, just having fun. I am grabbing a little bit of that same color that I did before over on the other side and just doing wood. This is me painting wood. I am painting wood. I'm going to tell you a little true secret about being an artist. Emotionally, technically, internally, painting an upward facing greeting card style adorable cute snowflake catching snowman feels pretty much the same as painting a Renaissance bunny dressed in a Renaissance dress with ornate flowers everywhere that takes 5 hours. It's my brain doing the same work. Yeah, it's just as fun for me. I don't have to paint super aggressive stuff to have a good time. I know I've been doing a lot of like 3 hour, 4 hour lessons, and you might be like, oh man, does she just need that? No, don't need it. Now I'm going to finish out my little ochre arms. I'm going to take my yellow ochre and a little titanium white. I don't mind if it gets into that orange. It doesn't have to. You could just do the yellow ochre and the titanium white and still get a good effect. And I'm going to just kind of add a little bit, mostly focused to the inner side of the arms. Not a huge amount of work. It's just a little touch here, a little touch there. Tooch, 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 tooch. I haven't even had to get my vision enhancers out yet, so you know I'm having a good time. You know I am. I am ready to do another beginner acrylic course soon. Yeah. Go primaries again. Make a kit. Something. Oh, hey, doesn't this have a kit?
Well, I am not sure if they are available on the website yet or not, but we are working on a kit for it. We have a...
Sign up for a text, because I'll definitely text y'all if we get it done.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't unsign up for a text if I text you that we have a kit. But when we get the kit up and it's live and you can look at it, I have done a lot of snowman, and there's this kit that I have, and it's got white paper, and it's got colored pencils, watercolor pencils, a 5-pack of paint, or is it 6-pack?
So I believe it's got...
Is it the Artist Loft one?
Yeah, it's a 6... I think it's a 6-pack of paint, 2 packs of white paper, 2 canvases, colored pencils, watercolor pencils.
We'll do a video and an announcement. We'll do a giveaway.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of stuff in it.
Okay, we'll do a giveaway. Alrighty. Look at those wood arms. Just a woody. How are you doing? Are you okay? I like so much. Will you be my very best friend? Let's go catch snowflakes together. Do you want to build a snowman? Do you want to go outside? Do you want to have a really nice time? I'm going to dry this. Sorry if he hits you with an ad. When we come back, we'll do the next step. We're really cooking through this quickly.
Okay, so the good thing about this is that if we push the add button when Cinnamon goes to do the hair dryer, then it's supposed to time it out so that we don't get another ad for a little bit of time. And that's kind of what we're hoping that this is going to do, so that we don't you miss less if that has to happen. So now we're ready to go on to the next step. Yeah?
Yes. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Relax your neck and shoulders wherever you're holding tension. Whenever we're doing lines, or we're really thinking, or we're trying to control ourselves between two spaces, like coloring in the lines, can feel really stressful. So I do like to do some deep breaths at the end when necessary. Now, I have a little bit of my blue line here showing through. I don't know if you guys can see that. John, can you be close on that?
Let's see here. Whoop, I think I can.
So I'm going to come here and I'm going to start a repair.
That good?
So there's a faint echo of a blue line that I'm just not getting rid of with my paint. So I'm going to come here and kind of do some white. And what I'll do, how I'll hide this repair, is I'll bring it down. You know how sometimes a cat like fully has a yard sale, it like wrecks, and then I'm going to just see I'm tapping up and down and making irregular dots and dispersed lines, and then I'll come up And then you'll see this. So what's going to happen here is what was a fault will become like a feature. Now I'm going to bring this up to center, and I'm going to let that dry. When I come to repair this, what will happen is this will camouflage the blue line, and it will make a cool highlight. You know, sometimes even my paint, professional paint, Sienna golden paint, the blue line will show through. That's a way to fix it. I could have done a third coat too, but I think this will be more fun. All right, to our bow while that's having a dry. So we're going to do a repair and a bow. Now on my bow, I think actually I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to grab a little bit of my red and my black together. My Cad red and my Mars black. And at the edges of this bow, I'm going to add a kind of thick at the center, thin at the edges, parenthesis style brush stroke. And then under the bow, I'm going to come here with this color. And then do little brush strokes that curve down. I'll show you what I mean. It's hard to see. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to make parentheses with our burgundy here. See that there? We're going to have a shadow here coming out from here. I'm being a little bit less tidy than I'm being on the painting, just so you guys know. And then I'm going to, with curves, stroke out little feathered brush strokes from the gathering. This will be the shadows in the folds of the fabric. This is an easy way to create shadows in the folds of the fabric. Right here at the center, I'm going to fan out a little bit of that folding too when I come back. You can see that when I'm at the top of the fan, I curve to the top of the canvas. When I'm at the bottom, I curve to the bottom. And then finally, I will be right here adding a curved, rounded shadow. So that's all the places I'm putting this initial shadow. Does that help see it? Oh, Gina has one hoo markers, which are very good. I bought those for my own kids. And liquid watercolors. Yeah, I bought those. I love contesting. Gina, did you ever, there was this lady in her, gosh, she was the contesting queen.
Oh, gosh.
And she won everything. And she wrote a book, and she did visualization, and she did it. And for a while, I was super into it. And I entered the lottery a bunch of times, and I don't know, I won small amounts, $50 or under amounts of money, but more than 30 times, a shocking, I have a whole bowl of winning tickets. I don't even go cash them in. And then I did I would go online and enter everything, and I won a bunch of stuff. Bad news is, though, I had to burn that email because I got a bunch of spam. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of my Cad red and my Mars black again. So be careful. Use a dummy email when you're entering contests. That's my pro tip.
Takeaway.
My takeaway. Dummy emails are important. Doing that same thing I just demoed there. I love how every once in a while I'm I just stop. It's like the Energizer Bunny just stopped.
Now, did you have texture on your painting? Because it doesn't show very well. So you can show a little bit from here.
No texture.
No texture. It's pretty smooth.
It's smooth. It's just a regular. It's just. This is the classic cotton from Art Alternatives, and I love this surface. It's one of my favorites. Weirdly, it's not particularly expensive, but I like it as much as many of my expensive canvases. Who I will not brand name because they may not appreciate me saying that, but I do like it as much as many of my expensive canvases. Not all. Do I think it's ampersand? No, it's pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna come here at the bottom and add that little kind of shading to the bottom of the bow. Look at that. Let's call that a step, but we don't need to even dry. I love that Bree asked about that though. And Rita loves the snowman. He's really cute. Thank you so much for the tutorial. And Crafting with Victoria Clark is saying, cute, little bell. Spam in a can? Spam I am, says Gay Spangler. I wonder what that was about. But I love that you guys are here. Don't forget, I have a group on Facebook, if you can stomach Facebook, where you can share art in a private closed group where we curate it. We approve posts. It's very lovely. All right, I'm going to come here and grab some Just Red. Come from the top of the bow. And I will just bring this down. And you can kind of see some curve, right? See how I'm kind of curving that brush stroke? And then I straighten it towards the center. And I will come in and kind of curve this in. So I am being a little firmer with my brush going in, but it's just an easy way to get the shading on a bow. And come right there all the way to that edge. I take the red fairly far down on these edges to help that space separate. Those are weird things that, you know, I'm doing, and sometimes in the act of painting, you know, we forget as teachers to remember to say certain things, and so that's why you will see me say those strange things. It's because I know, having done this for so long, that these things will just come up and get you in your studio. I'm just adding a little bit of shading here. I'm just making sure that I don't lose the fanning of the bow. It's nice. I like it. It's looking good. One of the things to remember with John and I is we got on YouTube for some very different reasons than a lot of creators get on now. Like you almost like there's the original kind of 2007 elephant YouTube, and then, you know, modern YouTube. And when we got on, like, it really wasn't to be famous. We were just trying to find a free place to help people learn how to paint.
Right.
That wasn't going to charge them for the service of storing us, or you guys for the service of storing our videos. So that's how I found YouTube, is John was, you know, I went to John and I said, I want to be able to do this for free to help people. This is like amazing what it can do. I'm like, how do we do that? And he's like, let's try YouTube. That's a service that people could use.
It seems to have worked out.
So, you know, that's just sort of why we got here. It's just a different, there's no right or wrong for like however or why you share your art. It's just, that's sort of why. So my goals are always much more about that original mission statement, which is just to help people paint. It's not that I don't care that videos do well. I do, because I want to teach people how to paint.
Right.
Super do. But, you know, still mostly just about teaching you guys painting.
Right.
All right. I'm going to come here on the outside edge and bring that in again, and then come back into my little feathered out strokes with the pure red, just the pure red. You may ask later if like, say you got a paint set, you know, one of those like 44 colors of paint in for a low price. You know, you have student paint then, or you found a really cool deal on eBay, but mostly probably student paint.
Probably, yeah.
You might find that your red's not quite as vibrant as mine, and that is okay. I'm using cadmium pigments, and those are super vibrant.
And yes, you may have to use a couple of coats or something to get the same the same effect. Now you're creating that the fabric look there by by all those layers that you were using.
Yes, that's how we get that rich red bow look.
Amy thinks it'd be great if you did a series on just the colors.
Okay, I could do that. I could also do short like how to paint a red bow. Or I saw a new really cool way of doing it.
What'd you see?
So what the artist had done is they had completed what the lesson was, right, on the short, and then they just, and not even with words or anything, they just showed one small element. And I was like, oh, I could show this finished thing and then just do how to paint a red bow. like this. And then do that, and then it would make more sense, because sometimes on the short it's just like, oh, it's a red bow, yay. All right.
The bow turned out pretty good though.
It did. And now that my nose is dry, I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow and my red. Again, and make it an even brighter orange. I'm going to come up the center, kind of going over that. Similar brush stroke technique, guys. So I have an ombre and shading. And what this is going to do, this is going to let me just sort of hide that blue that was coming up messing with me. I showed this not because this particular carrot just needed a center highlight. I showed it because this particular carrot won't be hurt by center highlight. It may be benefited by it. But you knowing how to hide a hidden ghost line in a painting is a big deal. You can see that because I made my brush work, I'm going to come in with just a little more red here for the base. Because I made my brush work irregular, tapped up and down, it also helps hide any sign that this was repair and not an intentional, planned, original technique. That's how you would repair the carrot. Amethyst Rock says, I love you guys. You're my favorite teachers on YouTube. You're my favorite Amethyst Rock on YouTube. There are no other Amethyst Rocks I like as much. Not at all. I don't know them yet, but I already know I like you better.
Yep.
And I'm sure there's more, because I've tried to name myself for years, and it's amazing how you like Candy Cane Butter Brick Road 55, and then it goes, this name is already taken, and then you go finally, and it adds like 1,234, which means some crazy name idea you had 1,234 other people
who are like, that is a good idea.
Crazy. All right. I am going to dry this, and we will continue on.
Okay. We are going to dry this, and we will continue on. This is what she said. Whole series on how to paint fabric patterns. That, I think, would be fun, too. I have to say, not a terrible idea. I'll mention I will mention it to her again shortly after this. She comes back. There's another vote for a fabric series.
Oh, yeah. Totally. All right. Totally doable. Painting fabric is fun. Just paint piles of fabric. It's a good time.
Another step now?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I
Step
knew
11.
you're just waiting for that step.
I'm going to take my white paint over here, and I'm going to get it back into my original snow color, which was Ultramarine Blue. Here, I'll mix a little more up so you guys can see it. A little Ultramarine Blue and a little Burnt Sienna. And what that does is it just gives me a slight blue cast to my snow. And I'm going to come here with my 3/4 inch angle brush and just paint very carefully around my edges, but I'll be kind of, if you'll notice, rough and loose around the inside. Because snow layers up, man. I'll probably put a little bit of my stones back. So I'll just paint around them with this brush, and then I'll just come back with the other brush. Sometimes knowing that those layers, and then like this, I went out and then back in. Sometimes going back out and back in is a very useful thing to do. Now this white, again, isn't white, is it? It's an off-white because we did the blue-gray in it, and that leaves room for white in the painting. You need to leave room for white in a painting. So I have a thing that is weighing on my brain right now, and I will share it with you again, because I think letting you know what I'm going through creatively and, you know, making sure that what's happening is visible to you. I don't even know I'm going to get to that green. I had put it out because I thought I would probably put out a sprig of greenery, but I don't feel like it would work in this. And then I thought maybe I'd do green polka dots, but I don't want to. Well, I don't think it will add anything. It might, but I just don't feel it. And I kind of really love where this one is going, and so I just don't want to mess with it. Now, I can paint around objects with my angle brush because I use the toe of the brush a lot, which is that pointed bit. The furthest tip of a brush is its toe. Isn't it interesting how when you paint back the rocks, it's like they look like they're pushed into snow? There's a weird effect there. This is going quite well. How's it going for you, my dove? Quite well? Y'all having fun?
It's very enjoyable
Okay,
over here.
and again, the snow color is a little ultramarine blue and a little burnt sienna to make a blue-gray. If the color is at all giving you trouble, just switch to white and black. I'm going to go ahead and kind of around the little wood, I'm going to use my toe to kind of imply that it's stuck into the snow. Over on the other side, John, if you go close, I will try to demo that really specifically.
I'll go over to the other side. Let me zoom my little camera over
right
there.
here.
All right, hold on a second.
We'll do it over here too, and then you'll see what I mean.
There you go.
So around this, I'm going to take the toe and kind of irregularly tap up some of that white. And doesn't it look like it's pushed into snow then?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's a little thing, but it's a thing that makes your painting look better, your card look better. This is also one, if you're thread painting. I don't see Janome thread paint in today, but were Janome thread paint in today, I would say this would probably be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way the threads would lay down. I think it could make a nice file, sewing file. Looking pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's call that a step.
That does look like a good step.
It's a good step.
To the 12th step.
Now here, I'm going to come in, I'm going to get a even slightly lighter color. And kind of come around here. It's just barely, you can see it, it's just the top, just slightly lighter. And then I'm come here and add a little more of my blue and my burnt sienna. You can see if I go too much brown, I lose the blue cast to it. So that's how you know you got the mix off. If it's not distinctly a blue, you'll be like, oh, it's a little bit off. All right. So I'm going to get a little bit of a slightly darker color of my snow and come underneath here and just imply that the lower half of the head is a little bit in shadow. I'm loose with my brush stroke. Right, we're just putting the lower half. And you can hide the two colors from each other through the stones. If you see, like by bringing the darker gray up into the stones, that can help hide that transition if you're not good at blending. And I got to tell you, it's all very light. So the light gray is very light, and it's light gray. Right? I'm going to come with that light gray under the bow a little bit. And maybe a little bit under the ties. And again,
Yep.
it's still snow, so it still represents white. It's just white in shadow. Does that make sense?
Yep. It does.
As I come out towards those outer edges, I can get into my slightly lighter gray. And I generally find it's just in a couple layers it takes to get there. I will come over my little snow piles with a little highlight. Oops. I boo-booed my bow. So I'm going to rinse my brush. And before that paint sets, clean it up. It happens. Coming back with a little bit of the lighter color, very loosely and with an open thing. And to understand what I mean by loose and open, let me grab some color so you can see it. So if I'm here and I'm talking about loose and open, look how little paint is going. Look how much of that white is underneath. And what I'll do is I'll be more focused in one area and then lighten it up as I go out. See how that just barely is leaving a dusting of pigment? So sometimes you can't see that on the canvas, but that is what is happening, is that I am very, and you are, together we are, using our dry brushing here and then going out with less and less pigment. So not only are we dry brushing, but we're layering and glazing a little bit. And sometimes I find you guys do better if you understand why you're doing your thing. Like if you're like, oh, I know I'm doing a thing, then you guys do a lot better. All right, let's dry that. Call it a step. I want it all dry, 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 dry before we do what's next.
That seems totally right. So oh, don't mind if you're following along. You have to dry. You can always pause us, or if you need to pause us, we will be here on the replay. So pause, thoroughly dry your surface. That way you can get the proper layering effect. We tend to talk a little bit, so don't worry, you won't miss it. You won't miss too much, and it'll just thoroughly dry it all the way through. Get you to the next step.
Oh, Kelly says, I'm sending up prayers for everyone that has to have eye surgeries, and I'm currently healing from spinal surgery, and I can't wait to be able to do things again. I hope your healing goes really fast, and I agree. I wish everybody going through any surgery a fast recovery.
Absolutely.
Now I'm back to my number 6 round Raphael sepia. I'm going to get back into my black and just make sure that my little coal smile is a well-painted, happy little smile. Oh, I like that very much. And then I'm going to come here and on my bow, I'm going to take my white, just my white. I'll start at the center and I'm going to make a little line, and then next to it a slightly longer line, and then a shorter line. Sometimes they come together and they taper. This is how you get shiny, shiny reflections on something if you're trying to say it's reflecting light. So there's a little reflection. So, I don't have a reference of a bow right now. You could use one if you wanted. I've just done a lot of them, so I kind of know, well, it's got to have this or it's got to have that. These little wiggly lines kind of are the pockets that are coming out. See how that just sort of makes them look a little. I'm going to smooth that in so they're not as bright there. This one is a little harder to do. I might even skip it as a technique. I don't think we need much past the Instead, I'm going to come here and I'm going to do a little red and white. Try that. Yeah, I like the red and white. This is a dry brush. Can you see I'm just sort of dry brushing this in? So it's a little different than the white highlights. The red and white implies a highlight that has just a little red cast to it. So that's sort of nice. I really like that. It's very, very good. Very, very good. Now I'm going to take my brush with some water on it. I'm going to get a very, very light.
A watery brush?
Huh?
A watery brush?
A watery brush of this. And then I'm going to come here and...
Ooh. That help make it tip sharp?
It is... I'm trying to do a glaze without glazing medium.
Oh.
So what I'm looking for is to drop a little shadow, just a hint of a shadow here that's almost see-through. Right? It's just the lightest, faintest thing. Doesn't need to be big. Rinse that out. Here comes the challenge. So, we've done a lot of splatter. Splatter gives everybody varying experiences, right? I thought this time we might try a different way to do a catching of snowflakes. So let's put up a new step. I'm going to grab a Q-tip. I'm going to do a weird thing with the Q-tip. I just put out fluid titanium white acrylic paint. I'm going to take the Q-tip. I'm going to put it in my mouth. It's clean Q-tip. And I spin it in the direction of the cotton so that it just tightens up. This keeps it from getting fluffy. I'm going to dip this in my titanium white paint, and I am going to dot my snow this time.
The dotted snow?
Well, our snowflakes are a little different, right? A lot of ways to do a snowflake, my friends.
Those look pretty cool, though.
They
make nice,
work.
They make nice, distinct dots.
Exactly. Easier than trying to drop a dot down with the brush.
That's a song. Drop a dot down with a brush. I don't think it's a country western song. It's probably
I almost did the, this is polka dots on the bow. Just the bow.
Yeah.
Which would have been good also.
So you think you're going to paint some individual snowflakes?
Yes.
Okay. They're eagerly asking.
Yes, I think I am. And if I wasn't, I am now.
Are ya?
That's pretty nice. Now let's dry that thoroughly.
Thoroughly?
Thoroughly. And we'll come back. I'll show you what you
All
do
right.
next if you're going to draw a few little snowflakes.
Oh.
Oh, wait. No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. We'll wait for you to say yes.
Well, it's just that my bow didn't have enough.
Oh, you needed more.
Needed more. Okay.
That's okay.
All right.
We can do that. All right. Now, this will be pretty easy. That was just a regular old Q-tip, so don't worry about it. And, yeah, we certainly are going to do some now. Do some nice seeing everybody out there in the chat. So nice to see. If you haven't been in the chat, you should definitely join our chat. It's some of the most fun you can have on the YouTube, where you come in, hang out with a bunch of other cool people. We all do painty stuff and chat. It's actually pretty cool. All the folks that come in here and be part of our community. All the Sharons and the Gay Spanglers and the Amys and the Kellys and the Debs and the Graces and the Clarks and the Janes. All of them. All of the peoples. The peoples. So are you ready for
Yes, I
It's
am.
the final
Little
countdown.
countdown. Vision. Enhancers on because you're painting now. 'Cause you're painting now. Check your paint pen. Check your paint pens.
I think Jack Black
Huh?
I think Jack Black captures my musical center.
Does Jack Black? I don't want to do paint pen. I'll do it. I'll do it. Man, that's hard to decide. Okay. So, because this is a very simplistic painting, I am going to do a very simplistic snowflake. I put one right here on his thumb, so I'll have this be the one that he's catching. I'm going to make a little line up vertically. I'm going to make a little line down vertically. To the right horizontally and to the left horizontally. Oh, wow. It does look, yes, much like a star. But this time I'm going to go line, 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 line. And then up. I'm going to go line, 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 line.
Just don't go lying around.
Don't go lying around. I'm going to do a line across here. A little smart one going out there. Little lines there. And then sort of like little V. Little V.
Little V.
Little V. Dot, 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 dot. And that is how you might do a detailed snowflake.
You might, indeed.
Right? And you can have him just catching one. Let's look at this. I might leave it with him just catching one on the overhead.
It actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking that actually isn't. I may go that because now you know how to do it. You could put them everywhere if you felt like it.
Unexpected awesome.
Unexpected awesome says I'm done. And that's a thing to be ready for, is unexpected awesome telling you that you're done. But it does happen, and it did today. And I'm going to mix up a little of my red paint, and I'll go ahead and sign down here.
But if you found yourself going, I just need more.
Go at it.
You could, and it wouldn't even be like
at it.
a
Yes,
big deal.
We are live on Thursday. Probably will be at 11 a.m. Check the video. I'm going to do some videos at 11 a.m. so more of our Australian viewers can be with us and more of our viewers in the time zones that works better for. Also, because I think I have more energy in the morning. So if we're going to do some bigger like winter landscapes and stuff like that for this season, then I definitely want us to have the extra time. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, if I'm not sick or there's internet, I will be live. Just check to see if it's 11 a.m. or 1. Sign up for the text. You can just go by to our store and it'll say, do you want to sign up for text in the newsletter? And you should say yes, because I'm going to be sending one of those out soon. This is part of the 12-day Winter Wonder.
It's so wonderful.
Winter Wonder is just going to be a lot bigger this year. I think I'm just going to go winter.
Yeah.
At least 12, probably more. And now you have this, and I brought back from the vault his brother with the red, right?
Yeah.
So like
now that's the other one is what's in the kit. So we have the USB drive. Actually, I think this is very
no, the
similar.
red isn't in the kit. You're thinking of the boho snowman that has the roses over her head.
Yeah.
And then the roses, the simple rose painting.
Yep, there's
but in the description of this video, he's the black and white and red version of the snowman that I always felt like looked like ribs.
Mm-hmm. No, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Remember, because at the time I was like, it looks like ribs. 12 days, says Cindy. Well, so every year, Cindy, because I've been doing this forever, we have certain programs. 13 days of Halloween, 12 days, which got rebranded Winter Wonder. And that way I could go more than 12 if I felt like, but it's like, I try to do at least 12.
Right.
And, then we have Acrylic April, which is every April, every day we go and do a new painting, because nothing makes you guys better painters than doing a painting, and nothing is more powerful than a daily painting practice. So, we have that going on, and we have that coming up this year. Again, yes, there will be an Acrylic April this year. And a Muppet Christmas Carol painting, says Lulabelle. That is not a terrible idea.
I could do some Muppets.
I like votes. I've got some voting coming up. So there's a painting coming up, or it could be a drawing, No, I guess it's pastel, so it's still technically painting. There is a cardinal in a winter scene that you could do, and you get to pick. You don't get to see the scene because you're going to choose, do you want to do it in acrylic?
Hmm?
Do you want to do it as a watercolor, or do you want to do it as an oil pastel?
Oh, you picked a medium.
Yeah, so we're going to let you guys pick a medium, and then I've got a really cool fun set of winter apples. The apple farmers, I don't know if you guys, apple farmers have been going through some stuff, so I wanted to give the apple farmers of America and around the world some love.
Yeah.
And talk about some of the cool stuff happening with apples. So it's some good news we all need right now.
Yeah.
And there is some support. I also want to remind everybody to buy apples from your local apple farmers today. They have a lot of apples, and we're coming in season. They could use our love.
Apples.
Jane says, I always miss the voting thingy. Amy's like, Muppets Christmas Carol. Oh my goodness. You all are so funny. All right, fine. You know what? Maybe we'll add some Muppets from A Christmas Carol to a painting on an after show.
Mm-hmm.
Like the crowds.
I'm hearing that they need more Muppets.
I am too. I feel like we should do like we should Christmas theme a like
you
a
know what?
landscape
I will
with
Muppet
Muppet scenes.
anytime.
I don't know. I love the Grouch too.
I'm so easy to Muppet.
Crafting with Victoria Clark. I still haven't gotten any pan pastels. They are in my shopping cart. So I'm going to be using oil pastels. But here's what I will say, Victoria, about pan pastels. I don't know what shopping cart they're in. And it's always good to like look all around, but I'm going to say they are fun art material. And there's a huge amount of community and resource. And if you're looking to kind of get a sense of them to decide if they're right for you, check out my friend, The Frugal Crafter. Just search The Frugal Crafter. Pan pastel, you'll see a bunch of lessons and reviews. The company is amazing. They were rescued by Golden Artist Colors recently because they're kind of like awesome and a heritage, and they think that they're a really important art material. So that's my gush on pan pastels. That was weird. This will be fun to do with kids, says Cher, and I would love to see those kids. If you do this with your kids, I have a group on Facebook to share kid art. Everything is approved. We approve members into the group. I mean, I'm not Cyber Circus. That's only what Facebook has. But like I'm saying, it's a closed group, and we just share our kids art in there.
Yeah.
And talk about kids art projects when I do a kids art show, because I have some kids art classes, and when I do a kids art show, it goes in there, and we just do all that. So if you're doing any kid art, please go by it and share that. Just give some love to the kids that are sharing art in there, or their parents sharing their kids' art. Because I think it's just important that kids always are seen. And of course, you can always share kid art in the Art Sherpa Official, and share your snowman in the Art Sherpa Official. And I want to see it. I want to see Amethyst and Sheila's and Heather's and Jane's and Deb. Oh, Deb's here. I think this would make a really good embroidery pattern. Don't you, Deb? I think that would be really cool. I said, like, if you know people in the embroidery pattern world for licensing, I would license some stuff. It would be fun. I would license. I've done stamps.
Yeah.
I did custom stamps once with May. I would do thread. So, don't know. All right. Thursday. I want to see all of you Thursday at 11 a.m. this Thursday for the live class. You don't want to miss it. You're going to love it. And Saturday and Tuesday. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And also watch for Christmas Cow. Coming out. Or landscapes. More things, extra drops, more shorts. Things are happening all the time. All the time.
All the time.
Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. I want to see you at an easel really soon. Bye-bye.